Hello and welcome to Full Court Press with Blake Flickner. It's our weekly coaches show, and this week we're going inside the DBU basketball team alongside Patriot head coach Blake Flickner, TJ Thomas, Xavion Brown. The Patriots with their highest preseason ranking, school history, #3 in the country, getting ready for their home opener on Friday against Colorado Mesa. You went on the road last week, 2 games in Florida. What were your takeaways from the trip?
Oh, they were great learning experiences. We played some of the best teams in the country and had a chance to see things that we need to work on. Came back, had a couple of great film sessions and days in practice, and we're excited to play in front of our home crowd this week.
I'm going to ask you about these 2 guys that came with you today. And start with Xavion. After having been here for a year last season, Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Season, came from Appalachian State. When he decided to make DBU the place that he wanted to call home, what did you envision? Did you envision what he was able to do last year defensively and on the offensive end?
Yeah, on the court, we had a lot of high expectations of what we believed X could do. I think he's got some special abilities, but there were things that we didn't know ahead of time until you get him in the program. Just the intangibles, the leadership, the poise that he has, those are things that you can't evaluate on film. And he's continued to be an even better leader than we hope. But his defensive feel and just his IQ for the game has been a huge blessing to our program.
Well, you get another great sign this year in TJ Thomas coming in from East Texas, where he led the team in assists last season. What are the traits that excite you the most about TJ?
Well, TJ's a leader. He knows how to make plays. He's a great shooter. He can create for others. He had excellent on-off splits in his time at East Texas, and he's one of the best passers and has an incredible vision. He makes the right reads out of ball screens. He's got great anticipation. I'm excited for our fans to get to see him play.
Yeah, I'm excited for our fans to get to know you, TJ, and take us through your journey. Grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, but you come to Texas to play college basketball, a JUCO stop in the East Texas. Take us through just growing up in Memphis, your love for basketball, and what drew you to DBU?
Yes, sir. Well, I've been playing basketball since I was a little kid, so I really fell in love with this sport because my dad and mom both played. So out of high school, I played went to the state championship, won my senior year. So coming out of my senior year, I ended up only having like 2 JUCO offers. So my AAU coach that I played professionally for, he knew my coach at Collin where I went to school. They both grew up in Jersey together, so it just fit well for me to go there. So I went there, played 2 seasons there, played okay my freshman year, but then my sophomore year I really took it up to another level. And then that year, that's when I got offered by East Texas A&M. I was there last year. Everybody knows it was a pretty rough season for us, but I think at times I had my spurts where I were pretty good, and as I got more involved in the offense and defense, and I think coach put more trust in me. I started to show my real skill levels on all aspects of the floor. And then so it was a really rough season there, and then a bunch of my teammates also transferred out, so it was kind of a rebuild going on. So I was just looking for something fresh, and then so I was in the portal for a little while, and then I just one day randomly checked my Twitter, and one of their head coaches had hit me up. And so from that moment on, they put the visit on 2 days later, and then I think I committed probably a week and a half after. So it really made me come in just because of I told Coach earlier, it's just very family oriented, and it's been a good experience because coming from East Texas where it's in the middle of nowhere to the city of Dallas, it's been very fun, interesting, and it's just been different. So I just like coming around and being with everybody and just being able to just take on the different challenges that DBU has brought to me.
Excited to see him in the back. When you lose 2 big pieces in Ricky and along with Cam, your 2 all-time leading scorers in Ricky Duhani and Cam Khan. But X, I'm going to ask you, when you lose 2 players like that, but you see, the core nucleus outside of that, the guys that are coming back, there's a great story about what you had to say to those guys. Can you take us through just what were the conversations like and trying to keep that group together, and maybe what your vision is for this year?
Yeah, obviously we have a season like that. In this day and age, everybody wants to enter the portal, see if they can go to a bigger school. Obviously NIL is a big factor in what everybody does now. It's like business moves instead of just you want to play the sport. But I just made sure everybody knew where my standpoint, my viewpoints were, and I was planning to stay here regardless of everything that happened. I wanted to build on what I already been great. So I told them that I plan on staying. I love you guys, and this is the place I wanted to be, and that I had no question in doubt that I wanted to stay here. And obviously when somebody hears that from another person that they think is their leader and somebody they value high, it keeps everybody else around, and we ended up having everybody else stay. So
yeah, nobody leaves, everybody's back. And when you hear words like that from a guy like X, a guy that you hear the leadership and you just talked about it, well, what does that mean to you as a head coach?
Yeah, it's really special. You know, you work so hard to recruit good players and to try and build a good community. And a lot of people talk about having a family atmosphere, but we've been really blessed that we've had guys that have just really loved it, loved the campus, loved the community, loved the locker room, loved hanging out in the cafeteria with each other, and you know, they've wanted to invest in this program, and it's been fun to have that continuity, have the guys return and continue to build. It's not the way everybody thinks about it in today's day and age, but it is, there's a special blessing when you think about academically and just the relationships of being able to have some longevity and have some connections to a place. You know, I love it when our alumni come back. They feel tied to the university. We got homecoming game coming up in just a couple weeks, and it's always fun to see our alumni around, and it's great to have guys that are invested in the program. They love it here. They're having fun with each other, and they trust the process that, hey, you know, we can continue to get better and do bigger and better things if we'll continue to push each other and stick together.
TJ, how have you experienced that? Being a guy that's coming from the outside, I mean, you only had 3 guys added to this roster, and you're the senior. To be able to come in, how has it been in terms of fitting into the culture, and you're kind of in that leadership type role as a senior?
I'd say for sure it's been an experience coming in with 12 guys returning. You're just trying to see like best of where you fit in. And I admit that's early on I struggled with that, trying to see like where I fit in best on both ends of the ball. But as time grew, we kept putting in more plays and kept practicing, went over film. I think I've gotten more like adjusted. Coaches put his trust in me, and I feel like my teammates trust me too. And I trust them as well. So I just think we continue to just build rapport and just keep going after every day, that this thing will grow to limits that it can't reach.
You know, I think about the communication between the guards. I mean, how many times have we seen X go up on an alley-oop dunk? And I can imagine being the leader and assist at East Texas, the times that you're going to hook up with X for slam dunks. I want to ask you about that, Xavion. I don't know what that feels like to be above the rim like you are, but what goes through your mind? And whether you're in a breakaway dunk or it's an alley-oop, take us through. What does it feel like to be Xavion Brown?
Well, first, make the dunk. That's the biggest thing. But as a kid, you always have those, you know, fantasies and dreams, and you're replaying in your head types of ways you can dunk the ball, or like getting a fast break, stuff like that. So, you know, the first couple of times I did it, it was surreal, you know. But as I got older, and a lot more wear and tear on my body, a couple of times it's more like, all right, do I have the legs for this? Because I know I got to play defense right after this. So it's more like that. But for the most time, like a dunk like that, you know, sways the way of the game, and you can be a momentum shifter. So sometimes you just got to go for it and risk it. And if it works out, it usually works out well. But if it doesn't, you know, the repercussions can be costly. So it's more so picking your times and choosing when you know the time is right and how you're feeling in that moment.
Yeah, it does that feed the energy. I know how it feeds the energy in the bird, but in terms of just, yeah, you got to get back on the defensive end now. But how many times have we seen that just fuel the team to go on a run?
Yeah, it really can. I mean, when you get a fun highlight or a big, exciting play, the whole team puffs their chest up a little bit more and plays with a little bit more energy. So it's just 2 points, but sometimes it feels like more than 2 points because of the enthusiasm and the energy that they can build off of that. And you know, it's not easy being a college athlete, and having great athleticism and playing above the rim requires a lot of body maintenance. And shout out to our trainers. Jackson McQueen spends a lot of time helping keep these guys healthy, and all the things that we try and push them to do is really trying to find the max of what they're capable of. But that's not an easy thing, and so it takes a lot of work outside of practice too, to just continue to come back feeling healthy and feeling young and spry.
Where do you feel like you are now, 2 weeks into the season? Just the level of communication. How excited are you two guys to play with one another this season?
No, I'm excited. I'm ready for Friday to finally, because I know I'm ready to get a win. So I'm ready to just go out there and compete and just go out there and show everybody the hard work we've been putting in on Friday and Saturday.
Thanks, how about for you?
I'm definitely excited. You know, adding TJ is a huge help. Bishop, Dozier, everybody, you know, else coming back. You get to see what you're really made of. You know, last year's success is last year's success, you know, and the team you have right now is a new team completely. You know, there's a lot of guys that were either redshirt and they didn't play as much last year, so they're still trying to get to, you know, their own flow and figure out who they are, you know. So being able to have everybody who's here be in the moment and build a new chemistry is exciting.
Colorado Mesa on Friday. You get 2 games this weekend. Mesa on Friday, Colorado Christian on Saturday. It's the South Central Region Challenge. Well, you're tuning up for conference, but how important is this weekend? I know it's not conference play, but you got 2 regional opponents that are coming in. What is the emphasis this week? What are the things that you want to see?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge test, huge challenge. Both these teams are really good. Colorado Christian is much improved. They had an exhibition game against Weber State. That was a 3-point game. Colorado Mesa has not had anything public, but word on the street is I think they're pretty good. And I'd be surprised if they don't finish the year ranked really high. I think they're going to have an excellent season. They'll probably be one of the top 1 or 2 or 3 teams in the RMAC. And so they'll be great tests for us. We're hoping to build and learn from our previous experiences and come out and really play to our best ability. I think it's going to be really important that we take good care of the ball, that we rebound well, and find a way to put some downhill pressure on the rim.
You want to be here at the Berg, 5 o'clock tip, DBU, Colorado Mesa, and then Colorado Christian on Saturday is the South Central Region Challenge. That's going to do us for Full Court Press. For Blake Flickner, TJ Thomas, Xavion Brown, I'm Reagan Radcliffe.